are Russian banks experiencing a cash squeeze at the moment?
I would say the situation with liquidity more or less normal. Of course, there are some greater demand for it because at least of two reasons. First reason is fiscal execution of the budget. I mean, up to the September, the budget has a surplus about 2.5% of GDP. It means it's sterilized the liquidity from the market a bit, and plus the changes in domestic currency market. Normally, Bank of Russia was buying around, say, 4 billion US dollars a month, printing around 140, 150 billion rubles. But in August it was zero balance, and in September we were not buying, but we were selling. We sold around 8 billion. It means we do not print anything, but we sterilized another. Just a second, I will estimate another 250 billion rubles. So it's temporary things. And now we, together with the Minister of Finance, working about that. And I can guarantee that the situation of liquidity up to the end of the year will be normal, will be quiet.
So how much more liquidity can the central bank provide if there is more cash squeeze?
We can do a lot. I would say in 2008, 2009, we gave 4 trillion rubles in 3 months. So now the collateral in banks even bigger, so we can give even more, but they do not need it. So the scale of the problems is not trillions, but hundreds of billions. So now we, on our repo operation, we give around 150, 180 billion rubles a day. So that is the scale of demand of the banks, not trillions.
Are you afraid that the liquidity situation is getting close to similar to what we had in 2008?
No, not at all. Nothing common, I would say, because in 2008 we had several problems altogether. First, commodity prices, 4 times lower for 6 months. I mean, both financial, the companies, and the sovereign finance, the budget fall down, plus repo operation crisis, and plus impossibility of refinancing of credits of the companies, and plus too much exposure and currency mismatches in the balances of banks. In 2008, Russian banks had around 140 billion US dollars as a negative investment position. So they were borrowed much more than they have foreign assets. Now we have absolutely a different situation. Now they have positive investment position around 40 billion US dollars. So it's quite different.
I want to ask you about what you said on stage about the ruble. You said on stage when you were in the conference that the ruble is likely to strengthen, but the central bank will remain neutral.
Yes.
How does this compare with your decision of spending $8 billion in foreign currency last month to defend the ruble?
No. We do not defend ruble. I mean, we do not have any target in exchange rate, both in nominal or real terms, to dollar, to euro, to pound sterling, to basket of currencies. The only target is volatility. We do not believe that there is some exchange rate that's useful for Russian economy, but we do believe that volatility creates a lot of harm for it, because our business and households are still sensitive to this volatility. And the only reason for us to buy or sell hard currency and domestic currency market is to somehow to skip additional volatility.
So it is possible that there will be more intervention from the central bank if the pressure on the ruble continues?
Well, it's possible, but it's not most probable continuation of the situation. I believe that generally the pressure will be going down, and we will have more balanced situation, I mean, in terms of supply and demand in the domestic currency market, and both ways possible, upward and downward tendency in ruble foreign exchange dynamic. But I believe that we have more than 50% possibility of going up than going down.
Right. What about your outlook about the Russian economy? Could rates like the repo rate be cut further if the situation further deteriorates?
Well, we believe in our statements. We says that we feel more or less comfortable with the current composition of rates.
Okay, so is monetary easing possible? Because the inflation is under control, isn't it?
Inflation is under control, but we have ambitious plans of, inflation to be on the downward path. But we will monitor the situation and will be very much flexible. I mean, how we will foresee the macroeconomic dynamic, and we will choose our tools because of that.
Have you started buying Australian assets?
No, not yet, not yet. But we are very close to it.
And when you start investing in Australian assets, how much do you plan to invest?
Not too much.
Can you give us an idea?
Not yet, not yet. But it couldn't be too much because the market of Australian securities is not too big.
My final question is about the capital outflows out of Russia. We've seen about $49 billion of capital outflows in the first 9 months of this year. Are you worried there will be more? What can be done to prevent this?
Well, you see, the capital outflow is very difficult to predict. I think that the final figure will be more or less close to current figure. But it will depend very much not on the Russian economic or political performance, but on the global situation. On the global situation, if the investor will still be, on the way out from the risks, in that case, the emerging markets will be suffered first. Okay, but I believe that the situation will change.